they are, but let me get that up there first. Hang on, let me take Jack off on mute there. Yes, we are back, and yes, we are here to talk about the North London derby, which ended Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2. And I told you, we're back, Jack. Spurs are back. We're back where we belong. Pickfords are going to pick up Arsenal in the morning, take them back to South London where they belong, because today they were schooled. Basuma schooled them. Sonny schooled them. Romero sort of schooled them. But they were schooled today. And Jack, I feel really disappointed we didn't get 3 points. And that's going to the Emirates. That's saying something.
Yeah, well, I think that you're right in that opinion, because of the way that they scored their goals and the way they were given. The penalty was given as in the commentary, and my view of it was that, like, there was no way that he could sort of get out of the way. So they sort of got that as what I would say was a lucky penalty, and then they've also scored it was an own goal from Romero, which was a bit difficult for him at a funny angle, but he could have dealt with it a little bit better. But we scored 2 absolutely fantastic goals from open play, and then towards the end of the game, as we took off our more creative players, we didn't create a lot of chances. But I thought that at the last minute there, I thought Richie was gonna get the winner, and just didn't quite happen. But yeah, so
did I, Jack. I mean, at the end, so did I. I mean, look, it was a great performance from start to finish. Ange schooled Arteta. He told them this is how you manage a Premier League side. But in the chat, we have got a poll, and are Spurs in a fight for the league? I think they are after today. So at the moment, it's 60%, 5 votes, 60% say yes, 40% say no. And let's see who's in the chat joining us. And if you please hit that like button and subscription button if you can. We've got Carl Simpson. Good evening, gents. Hi, hope you are both well. I'm buzzing. I know Jack's been buzzing. We've had to take him down from New Zealand. He was that buzzing. He was up in the skies all day. Any Arsenal fan he saw, you're going down. You're going down. So that's what Jack's been up to all day. We've got Chris Welsh. Big up, Chris, over from the Armory over there. And of course, this is also being broadcast live on Full Time Sports Network. So please get over there. He says, good evening, lads. Good evening, Chris. Hope you're doing well. And then he also saying, Spurs were unlucky not to take 3 points. Played the better football, created the better chances, worked far harder. Basuma bossed it. It was a better result for Spurs. It was. Before I get to you in that, Jack, and before I say, I want to wish my co-host, Mr. Brady, a speedy recovery, who is not well with COVID. So from all of us here, we all wish you a speedy recovery, sir, and I hope you are doing okay. And then Carl says, you've got to be in it to win it, so why can't we not be in the title fight? I'm sure Leicester felt the same. Yeah, exactly. Very quickly, on Chris's point here, Jack, about Basuma, he did boss it today, didn't he? He really bossed that midfield. Do you felt he showed him, Manderson and Sarr showed Odegaard how to play football? Did they school him today?
Yeah, they was all 3 of them was absolutely phenomenal. The 2 younger lads, Sarr and Basuma, picked up bookings fairly early within the game as well, and they showed a great discipline to not get themselves sent off. I think that we nullified them. We stopped them in the first, where they would previously, and in most of their games, as they play, they will come at you for the first 15, 20 minutes. And especially against us, they would keep creating chance after chance after chance. But I think we really dealt with that first 15 minutes well by keeping hold of possession. It might not have been so much attacking possession, but we kept hold of the ball, and that didn't give them a chance to get started, to start their engine and get going for the first 15. So on that front, I thought that was absolutely a bit masterstroke by Ange
Yeah.
to sort of stop them getting at us too
Mm.
quickly.
Now we all know. Look, and big up Chris. Great comments by the way. We all know. We've got Andrew Gregory just very quickly. Evening, Dermot. Get well soon, Philip. Thank you very much. I will pass that on. Questwatch. Everyone can still mathematically win the league. People will say I'm stupid, etc. All that waffle, but it's true till 30 plus games to go. Yeah, it is. And now I feel guilty about. No, you don't have to. It's fine. He when I spoke to him today now, he took a laugh out of that. And then exactly, Chris, a long way to go. Jack, look, a lot of Arsenal fans are saying, "Oh, it was Wednesday that took it out of the legs," and the excuses are starting already from them lot. It's we used to play Saturday, Wednesday, didn't we? Or Sunday, Sunday, Wednesday. It never bothered us, and we still qualify for the Champions League again. Were Arsenal that bad today? Were Tottenham that good?
I think it was 50-50. I think
Mm.
we played really, really well, but I also think that I don't think that they didn't know what to do,
No.
because we were so well drilled in what we was doing that the only player I feel within the Arsenal team that presented the threat, and I will hold my hand up when you see a great player, is Saka.
Yeah.
And other than that, I didn't really feel that we was under any like intense pressure, or anybody within that Arsenal team was like bossing the game
No.
or taking the game by the scruff of the neck.
No.
Whereas on the other hand, we had several players that was taking the game by the scruff of the
Mm.
neck, and we had good performances throughout the whole team.
Yeah,
Um,
you're right there, Jack. Because look, if you look at the whole game as a whole, um, we'll go through the stats later, but we did boss the game. We had more stats. We had, I think, more shots on goal. We were more creative. As you say, Saka was their better player. Was their best player. He really was. And because I was on the Armory doing the watch along there, um, even Bobby said that Saka, and I can't remember who else he said with the own. He was very angry after that game for the way Arsenal played and for the way they turned up. And it was like Arteta thought, all I have to do here now is just turn up. We'll beat this Tottenham lot. And do you know what? It didn't work out like that, because as you said, we're Ange's got set up in a way that we just keep going and we can't be broke down. Even when we went 1-0 down, Jack, it didn't seem to bother us, did it? Last season, if that happened, you look what happened last season. We went 1-0 down, we'd just drop our heads and fall apart. It didn't happen today. We went 1-0 down to a unlucky own goal and kept going. What were you impressed with Spurs' mentality today? Is that something that was one of the things that was what impressed me the most about today's performance? What really impressed you about the mentality today?
well, the fact is shown in previous games when we've gone behind that we didn't treat Arsenal as any different in
Mm,
how we would make our way back into the game.
yeah.
It took a little bit longer than maybe we would have hoped, but from I think around about the 35th minute, we really started to showcase what we can do. We had a couple of chances with that really good save by Raya from Brennan Johnson.
Oh yeah.
That was a fantastic
D-
save, and
d-
like I say, I'll always put my hand up
yeah.
to even if it's an Arsenal player or whatever, I'll always say, and that was a fantastic save, and the pressure was slowly building on them,
Mm,
and then the bit of magic from Madders to get it into Sonny for the equaliser in my opinion, was well deserved, because those 10 to 12. I don't know how many added minutes were on in the second half, first half. It wasn't that many, but
8,
so I
I
think
think.
that from that about 30, 35, 36th minute,
Mm,
we managed to start getting up the pitch a bit further and sort of showcasing what we was doing, and we wasn't scared to play what Ange has always said is that we will play we
mm,
will play the same way no matter what. So we didn't show them. He showed them a lot of respect in the week during the way he spoke about Arsenal,
yeah.
but during the game, he didn't show any respect
Mm,
in the way that he went about playing the game, or his selection of the team, or
no.
to maybe bring in like something a little bit more
Mm,
defensive or anything like that. It's like no, Ange has always said it will never change. That we will always play.
mm,
It will always be that 4-3-3. However it works out, or whoever ends up where on the pitch, it doesn't matter, and that's the way we're always
mm.
going to play. And that was something that shone through just before half time, and then throughout the second half as well. So
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, look, for me, it was just total domination, really. Apart from the first, say, 15 minutes in the second half when Arsenal came at us and got that penalty, which I think, well, again, was unlucky. But look, we'll get into that. We'll get into the referee, who I thought was abysmal today, by the way. I thought Rob Jones was absolutely, he brown paper bag left in his dressing room by Arteta before the start of the game. But yeah, I want to say big up to Brian Maguire. It says big up, Bobby. Really nice Arsenal fan. Top man. Yeah, he really is, Brian. And thanks for coming in earlier. We've got Geordie. Yeah. Yo, what's up? Not a lot. He says, how away the effing lads, yet Newcastle had an extraordinary result earlier. 8-0 against Sheffield United. You must, Geordie, you must be bouncing after that. And he says, congrats on showing such resilience against the Arsenal in the Emirates. Well-deserved point for you, Spurs. And Madders is just awesome. Yeah, well, it is. It's the new Tottenham. We're not Spursy anymore. And congrats to you. What a result today, Jack. 8-0. I
I
mean,
know.
that just that
I,
shows how good Newcastle are actually when they get going.
Yeah, no, it really does. I
Mm,
sort of come on and said that Sheffield United were sort of growing into what was a different level of football, but
yeah.
they've been, they've really been shown today. I saw a notification come up 6-0, then I saw at the end 8-0, and I was just
Mm,
like, they have really been schooled today. Bloody hell, like,
yeah. They really have. And we got
yeah,
Carl Simpson. It said it was a great result. Geordie, I was hoping for some Trelawney goals from my fantasy team. Oh, poor old Chris. Geordie says, yeah, sadly he didn't. Trips, Pope and Saka left out to score in that game, to be fair. Yeah, you nearly had the whole team scoring. That would have been a good one, 11-0. Carl Simpson, I had Botman, though, so got some nice points for him. Big up, Carl. And Phillips says, hi, lads. Thanks for the get well wishes. Don't think my headache is nearly as bad as the one we gave Tinky Winky Lego Man. No, that is for sure. That is for sure. And Carl saying, get well soon. And Geordie said, yeah, I got Pope, Trips, and Botman all this week in my fantasy football league. So he's rolling around laughing. Now, Jack, let's go through. I tell you what, let's go through the team, shall we? Let's go through it. No, we won't do that first. I'll tell you what we do. Let's deal with this. Now, Paul Merson said yesterday, and I quote, Arsenal have got better players than Tottenham. Well, firstly, that's a load of cobbly-wobs than Tottenham. All over the pitch. Well, that's not true. I can't see anything but an Arsenal win. Well, you didn't. I think they will absolutely slaughter them. You didn't. I think they will rip them to shreds. I think it was the other way round, Paul. Either that or you've been on the funny sauce too much, or you've been back drinking again. Um, did we shove his words right down his throat with that performance today, Jack?
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
100%. There's levels of how you can come across as a pundit,
Mm,
and that's not a very respectful way of putting it anyway. there's many different words you could use to sort of believe that your ex team's going to win the game. But the way that he said it, he's basically just like had those words shoved right back down his throat. And yeah, he's he's going to be sitting there now thinking, I made an absolute, howler of myself or a fool of myself or a lot worse. But I'm not going to say those words. So
Well, he can do that quite easy. He does that quite easily himself. But yeah, you're right, Jack. We have shoved them words down his throat. Well, let's go through the team, Jack. And of course, it was played at the Emirates today at 2 p.m., 24th of September. And the attendance was 60,156, and entertaining, dominating Tottenham. Just go to Arsenal and just school them. 2-2. Got the Romero own goal after 26 minutes, and then Saka's penalty after 54, and then Sonny scoring on 42 minutes, and then on 55 minutes. This is the team, and then we've got, of course, this was the team. So, Jack, do you want to go through the team and give me your team ratings?
Vicario, I would give I'd give him an 8 today. He made a couple of really good saves. His confidence level is growing, but game by game. I've said it before on here. I've said it before on other stream, on Mia's stream. He doesn't look nervy. He had a couple of little nervy moments, but that was more due to being played the ball back and put under a little bit of unnecessary pressure. Porro Hunt. Excuse me, sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Porro gets an 8 easily from me. I thought he was absolutely fantastic today. He's been a right winger most of his career. He's been made a inadverted right back, and he doesn't stop. He's got so much passion and everything for the game for us. He was excellent today. Christian Romero, I would give a 7, but that's not because of the own goal. But I just think he sort of seemed a little bit rash today, where we've sort of have seen a much calmer Romero. He made a couple of unnecessary fouls and was sort of just, he wasn't his normal, what we'd say from the beginning of the season, very composed and calm self. I don't know whether that's to do with the nature of what the game was.
Yeah.
But he seemed to be a little bit off than how good he has been. So I would give him a 7. Van der Ven, 8.5. I thought he was absolutely fantastic today, Van der Ven. He had to cross over into Romero's space a couple of times. He done them really well. Everything coming down from his side, I think he dealt with very well. So I'll go 8.5 with him. Destiny Udogie is somebody that's gonna. You're talking about a 19-year-old young lad. He's the occasion got to him a little bit. He looked, first half he was very nervous. He was obviously having his troubles down that side with their best player.
Yeah, can I ask you a question on that? Somebody's just put it in the chat here, Jack. And Paul Pablo says, big up Paul as well. Thank you for coming in. He says, I thought in the game, surely Ange knew Saka would be a key problem. So he's asking, why did Brendan Johnson never track back from Destiny? Was one on one a lot of the time. I noticed that during the game, Jack, that Kulu did track back, but Brendan Johnson never tracked back.
Well, there was two sort of there's the theory of it that I read into on it that was basically we don't change our attacking for anybody, so Brennan Johnson won't be asked to track back. But then there was a point during the game where he did track back, and that was then what led to their first goal, where there was no communication between Brennan Johnson and Udogie. They both followed the runner, and that left Saka the chance to get the ball in, and then the own goal to be scored. So, in Kulusevski does come back a lot more, but he Johnson won't be told to track back, whereas Kulusevski is just a hard working player, whereas Ange is like, you're attacking players, so you just attack, and then he would expect Papa Sarr and Basuma to be helping out the fullbacks if need be.
I get you, yeah.
But Kulusevski is a really hard working player off the ball, so I think he does it off his own back.
Yeah.
To get back there, whereas I don't think he would be directed to get back and defend because of the way that Ange likes his players to play, and it is attack, and that won't be compromised for anybody. But there was a stage during the game where Brennan Johnson was tracking back a little bit more to give him a little bit of help, but it didn't actually help because there was no correlation or talking between them, because it's not something they would have practiced during training, because he just don't believe in that, Ange. So
no, I get what you mean. So what do you reckon of Papa Sarr and Basuma in the middle of the? What did you give Destiny for your
Destiny? The Destiny, I'll give him a 7 today, but he he's a young lad. He and to be honest with you, he really improved in the second half. So I think he settled right down. He didn't make any rash challenges. He didn't pick up another booking. I'll take my hat off to him, because he was up against one of the best wingers in the league, and Saka, can do also any left backs at any time of the game. And second half, he was much more composed and settled down. So yeah, I'd give him a 7 for today. Papa Sarr and Boss Suma were absolutely fantastic. All over the park, especially Papa Sarr. He pops up on the left, he pops up on the right, he pops up at right back to help with the defending. He was here, there, and everywhere. He gets 8.5 from me. Basuma was a little bit quiet at the start, but that was just due to us sort of trying to nullify them. But he grew into the game massively, and we saw another absolutely outstanding performance from Basuma. He done several things throughout the game when it come to the defensive part of the game and moving the ball forward, and getting up the pitch. He's brave on the ball. He plays the ball. He plays the ball into the. He plays the ball into the players that we need it to get to. He's pretty much spot on with his passing, so I'd give Basuma a 9 for today.
Yeah.
I'd give Maddison a 9.5. I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He was dropping back a little bit too deep because of the way that the first half was going. But as soon as we sort of that sort of switch at about 35, 36 minutes, we saw a bit of magic from him, and we know he's got it there, and he set up that goal. And then second half, he was much further up the pitch where he needed to be, and ultimately led on into the challenge into Jorginho and the set up for Son. Absolutely fantastic performance by Maddison, and he also nearly got the third one when he played that ball through to Kulusevski. He picked up that little knock that he got and took himself down. At the time, we didn't know what the problem was or how bad it was, but he set that off, and Kulusevski got it into Sonny, and that was very nearly the third goal. So he was absolutely brilliant, as he always is, Maddison. Brennan Johnson, for the time he was on for an hour today, I thought he showcased what he is. I knew he was going to be. I had this conversation with Mia yesterday, and I she said that she thought it would be the starting as the same as last week, and I said to her that Brennan Johnson will start because he's the perfect outlet when you're under pressure, which you will be at the Emirates at some points, and he can bring the ball 50, 60 yards within a matter of a second,
Yeah.
within a matter of seconds. So I thought Johnson played a good game. He had a couple of good chances. Unfortunately, he didn't put them away, but that was due to Raya's excellent save. He didn't quite catch it right either. It sort
No.
of he caught it with his right foot, and then it sort of come off his left foot a little bit. But overall, for his first start in such a big game, I'd give him an 8 for his performance. I thought he was in the right places at the right time. He didn't look phased whatsoever, and he seemed to slot into the system with no problem whatsoever. Kulusevski gets a 8.5 from me.
Yeah.
Works so hard all the time, whether he's up the pitch or down the pitch. He's just a very hard-working lad. He has built up a real good understanding with Porro on when Porro inverts to the middle. He knows where he's going to be. That ball got played several times today, and he's there. I think once or twice it didn't come off, but 90% of the time it come off. And then when Porro then overlaps him and gets down the wing, he's building a really good like rapport with him there. And he's strong. He's holding players off. He got us up the pitch a few times. I thought he had a really good game today. I was impressed with Kulusevski again. He's been involved in these games before. It's important to have a little bit of experience there in these games, and I thought that it was the right choice to have Kulusevski today, and I think that from what he done, think that was proven to be the right choice by Ange. And Sonny gets my man in the match. He didn't stop running. He didn't stop running from the start until he got taken off. He took his finishes absolutely how we would expect them to. He's definitely overcome this injury problem that plagued him last season, and then the little operation he had before the start of the season. He just looked dangerous. He worked hard. He was really composed on his finishes, and I think he's acting really well as the captain and leading the line superbly well. So I'd go with E as my man man of the match, and I'd also give him. I don't very often give them, but I would probably give him a 10 for today.
Yeah. For me, Vicario gets an 8.5 for me. I thought he was exceptional, especially that save he made in the first half from Jesus, where we thought it was in, but somehow he just got his fingers on it and tipped it around the post. Porro, for me, I'll give an 8. I thought he was exceptional today. Romero gives 7.5. Look, for me, Romero was poor today. All right, the first own goal, he really couldn't do much about it. It really wasn't really his fault, but I don't know what he was trying to do, but he did. And then with the penalty, then he really didn't need to give that away, because I think there was a player on the line. If it had gone in, the player on the line would have dealt with it himself.
There was a player on the line, but I don't think he would have been aware of that.
No, I don't think so. But 7.5 for me. Van der Ven gets an 8.5 for me. I thought he was exceptional today. I thought he covered both sides well. He marshaled the defense well. He done his marking brilliantly as well. So 8.5 for me. Destiny, your Joji, for me, gets an 8 again. I thought he was exceptional. Done very, done very well, especially with the booking so early in the game as well. Kept his calm, kept his composure. Brilliant for me. Papa Sarr gets 8 again. I thought Papa Sarr was brilliant today, and Basuma both got 8. I thought they were brilliant in the midfield. I thought Basuma really bossed the midfield, and he really schooled that Arsenal midfield
Yeah,
of
definitely.
what it is to be a midfielder. Now the front three, Brennan Johnson gets a 7 for me. You know, I did for his debut, first full start. I thought he done very well, but you know, more to improve from the lad. He's a young lad. He's only just first game, so more for him. Madison was exceptional. He gets a 9 for me. I thought Madison was brilliant today. Setting up the 2 assists again. Kulu, I give him an 8. I thought he was exceptional again today. Very well worked hard, as you said. And then Sonny gets a 9 for me, 9.5. 2 good goals, and I think we're quite comfortable saying we got through this without Harry Kane. This was the first derby without Harry Kane, and we scored 2 goals and we get a point. Let's see who else is in the chat here. We'll take that off, and we've got here. We've got Mick Carmlock. Where is he? Where's Mick? He says, "Good evening, Dermot. Good evening, Mick. How are you?" And then we've got Mia saying, "Who are these 2 dickheads?"
Oh God,
Charming,
it's after 9, ain't it, or whatever. She's had a water or a coffee or a
that's it. That's it. She becomes this sort of. I've got a bone to pick with you, Mia. By the way, Mrs. I do have a bone to pick with you. You got me barred off Facebook because of all your naughty chat the other day in the other stream. It literally, we were broadcasting on Facebook, and I got barred from Facebook for 48 hours because of all the naughty chat about the stadium rights and everything. So you started it. So I'll be getting an email. I'll be getting a WhatsApp from her soon after this. What do you mean?
She'll be acting all innocent. She'll be like, "It wasn't me. It was somebody else."
Yeah. Or that she'd be jumping on here in a minute, knowing me.
Yeah.
Paul Pablo says, sorry to not agree with Romero. On goal was his fault, really. Was a pathetic clearance penalty. Sorry, but had hand stopped the ball is not going into goal. Look, look, the first goal, the on goal, Jack, right? Do you agree with Paul Pablo, or do you think he sort of it was a half-hearted attempt to get it away?
What I got from the penalty was that it was a bit of a rash swing of his leg. I agree with that totally. But if you actually look at it in slow, the ball was at a bit of an awkward height, so he couldn't quite get it on his foot or his knee. So he's tried to he has just swung a leg out, which was not what he should have done. And then that's then led to the fact that he's then put it into the back of the net. But if you look at it in slow, you will see that the ball was at a very awkward angle to either try and get your foot on it or your knee on it or any sort of decent control on it to try and then clear it. So he's obviously gone for that. I'm just going to clear it and swing a left foot at it, but it come off of the shin sort of area, and that's where it's gone in. It wasn't the best bit of defending. He could have positioned himself a bit better in the first place, knowing that Saka's going to come in and cut in on that left foot. We know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So that, and then the second part with the penalty. I mean, even during the commentary, it was like we don't think like Gary Neville was like that's just not a penalty. And if you try to, I think they said if you try to kneel down at home and do it, your arm's naturally going to do that. So it's sort of like it's sort of like there's no definitive way of sort of deciding whether whether that is intentional or not. And in my opinion, and and from seeing the replays and everything, obviously there was a man behind him already, which you wouldn't have probably been aware of. But to me, it seemed I do believe it seemed a bit harsh. But on the other foot, his hand was up and away from his body, so you can sort of see why it was given.
Yeah. Um. Hang on, just give me one there minute. Hang on, just let me. I've just sent your sister a WhatsApp there, Mia. So I just sent your WhatsApp there. Look, for me, the penalty should not been given, and that sort of brings me on. We just got a few more. We've got Mia laughing. Carl's saying, Dermot, yeah, I wasn't, Carl. Believe me, it wasn't. Mia saying, sorry, Durex didn't protect you this time. Very funny. Carl says, always strap it up first, Dermot. These lot have got dirty minds, I'm telling
It's as
you.
soon as she enters the chat, every time. As soon as she enters the chat.
She says, Mia says, Carl Simpson, he's trying to blame me for these banned. Bloody chick, well, you did get me banned.
I
You
told you
started it.
I told you she'll swing the blame
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
I know her, mate. I've known her all my life, mate. I know what she's gonna do.
She will come in here and probably try to school us a bit like Romero, by the way, but that didn't work well today. What do you think she's going to do to Romero when he comes home? Give him no dinner for his cock ups.
Well, I'm not too sure what he's in for tonight.
I don't know what he's in for. He's in for something anyway. I know he is like Arteta in the conferences, always blaming someone else. Very funny, Carl. Ha. Yeah, very funny. Ha. But look, let's talk about the referee, Rob Jones, and VAR, tyranny as well. What would you give the referee out a rating out today? I'm giving him -10 out of 10 because I thought he was absolutely appalling.
He wasn't very good, was he? But he's the one that he's just been promoted from the championship, hasn't he? This one, Robert Jones. So he would have. It's like a new. It would have been his first sort of massive game to referee himself. I'm more peed off with VAR, to be honest with you, than I am the ref. I'll be totally honest with you. I've seen a couple of his games that he's refed that Robert Jones, and he's actually not. He's actually been all right, but today he was not all right. So
he was awful, and the VAR. I mean, that was atrocious as well, to be fair. I mean, VAR. I mean, there was times in that match when Tottenham players were going down with elbows in the face. And Basuma got booked for saying to the referee, look, whoever's just got elbowed in the face, and the referee booked him.
Yeah, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And I thought VAR was there to help the referee, to give him advice. Hang on, you've missed something here. There's been an elbow. Look, we've got it here. Go and look at the monitor.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm absolutely astounded. I can't even put into words how they haven't even gone to say to the referee, like, or even just looked at it. Yeah. Even if they just looked at it and said no, like, they haven't even looked at it.
No,
that's the frustrating part. That's the most frustrating part. They look at so many other things to do with us. And then when it comes to everyone else, they just don't look at it. It's like we don't even look at it. Like the Madders penalty last week.
Yeah,
it was the decision was made in 30 seconds.
No,
and and then they spend God knows however long on the handball today. If it's taking that long to make a decision, they're clearly not. It's not clear and blatantly obvious, is it?
No, I mean, we had that decision last week in the Man United game when Arsenal played Man United and the penalty wasn't given for near enough the same thing. And today it was given. So it's very inconsistent, VAR, this season. I think it's worse this season than it was last season, to be honest. I think it's worse this. I don't know if it's how they're officiating it. It's how the new directives they have. I don't know. If you are enjoying this, please hit the like button and subscription button. Please pick up the memberships as well. $2.99, $4.99 for we've got members only content starting to come out now. As from next week or the week after, me and Philip are going to do weekly members only sort of content. I think Dave and Jack are coming in with it as well. I think me and Full Time Sports Network are going to do some members only content as well, and we're going to do more pre-records as well as as we um as we move forward with all our live stuff as well. Let's see in the chat people talk about referee, because I thought there was a few things. We got Mia says, Jack, you're the cheeky effing git. You were the bad one as a kid, not me, mate. Oh well, we'll leave that there, Jack. We'll leave that there. I do you know what? I got your back, Jack. Okay, I got your back. Don't worry.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
I got your back, Jack. Paul Pablo says, never liked Robert Jones. Seen him before, not a fan. After today, I hope he never referees another Premier League game again. He was useless. Now this one, Rash challenge on Vicario was maybe a red, and I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. If he'd have actually caught his leg, he could have broke the geezer's leg.
Now, what was the difference between that decision, right, and the penalty? You know, surely VAR should be checking these other decisions here. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just not. It's not good enough, Jack. It really isn't.
It isn't good enough, but they purely didn't check it because he didn't actually make contact to him. That's the only reason they didn't check it. It's because there was no contact made. But
I thought there was contact made with him.
There was contact made with his other leg that took him out or to foul him. But that right leg with the studs up didn't make any contact with Vicario. If that had made contact with Vicario, you're looking at you're looking at a definite red card and potentially a really bad injury to the player. Like it was one of those, you know, could be a leg breaking bloody challenge. That's how bad it was.
And Mia spot on here. Nikita should have seen red. Now, and again, as VAR being indecisive, it's not being consistent enough, Jack.
No, they're not.
Look, you look at the Arsenal Man United. Same, as I said before, same sort of situation as today. That penalty wasn't given, but the penalty today was given. I bet you any money a player would do that next week now, and he'll get sent off.
What, even without making contact?
He did make contact though with him. It was a dangerous channel. He should have been sent off.
It was definitely a dangerous challenge, but that part of his boot that was up high didn't make contact. So
yeah, but Jack,
it should have been looked at. I'm not disputing that. I believe it should have been looked at. But the fact is that dangerously high foot didn't touch him. So that's why it wasn't looked at, which in my opinion is a joke.
Then surely it should have been looked at for dangerous play then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was intent of the dangerous play, so it should have been looked at. 100% should have been looked at.
Yeah,
but don't even get looked at. And if it did get looked at, it'd probably be looked at for 30 seconds, and they'll just go, no, that's fine, yellow card, carry on.
And Mia says Destiny was the player hit in the face, not even looked at. It was a joke, Mia, and I agree with you as well.
I agree with Mia as well.
Yeah,
that's the one that Basuma got booked for, wasn't it?
Yeah, just to say to the referee, look, a player's just been hit in the face. Why don't you look at it, or ask VAR to look at it? And VAR are too busy getting champagne and oysters from the Arsenal board and the Arsenal stadium. Well, here you go, lads. Here's some oysters. Here's some champagne. Do you want anything else? Do you want some dancing girls or anything to come in to help make your afternoon as enjoyable as possible? And then if Tottenham do anything, just, give it to us. Bloody bunch of morons. Tottenham come to conquer, says sack Spur. Yeah, exactly. Carl's saying the ref and the VAR were dreadful. I just don't understand how it can be so wrong from match to match. Carl, it's inconsistent, and that's I said it before and I say it again. It is worse than it was last season. Get rid of VAR. VAR for goal line technology. That's it. Go back to how it was before.
The thing is, Dermot, it's here and it's not going to go anywhere. And then Cole's statement is all we ask for in simple words is just consistency.
Yeah.
Everything has to be consistent.
Yeah. So how do you change it then to make it consistently more consistent, if you know what I mean? What changes would you make? Because it can't keep going on like this, Jack. It can't keep week in, week out, every weekend. Now, we're not even into October yet, and we've had so many different decisions that have changed games. Wolves, Franks, Wolves won, springs to mind. That was never a penalty. Wolves lose that. Them 3 points can send Wolves down.
Yeah.
You got the penalty for Arsenal Man United. If they got that penalty, it changes the whole game on its head. That's points drop for United. That could probably stop them getting into Europe.
We got the Sonny penalty at Brentford at the beginning of the season that he actually got kicked himself. We got the Sonny penalty. We got the Maddison decision last week
At
where
Sheffield United.
It was at Sheffield United where it was looked at for 5 seconds and then given a go ahead. We've got many examples of VAR not looking into things what you would deem to be something that needs to be looked into properly and waving it away and waving them away really quickly.
Yeah.
And then they're taking 6 minutes on a striker having a toenail offside when the benefit of the doubt is meant to be with the striker this season.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
The thing is, Dermot, it's hard to like for you to ask like how can we make it work? Is that you've got different people doing the VAR at every game, so every person's going to have a different outlook on what they believe the decision would be. So you're never going to consistently get the same decisions because you've got different eyes looking at it.
Yeah.
So it might be, just for an example, you might look at something and think it's a penalty, and I'll look at it and say, I don't think it's a penalty. Whereas that's what VAR are going to be having the issues with decisions they're making, because there's different people and what they perceive as something as a penalty, i.e. the Man United one that wasn't given and today's one that was given, is two different sets of people. So they're not going to have the same outlook.
So is it a thing of, would ex-players help to come into the VAR? To give a player's perspective to these, or should it be a number of people do the same once, time and time again for every game? Say have 6 or 7 people as one group, right? You go around and you do that many games, and then you do that many games. So you're not changing it every week. So every week it's the same person. I understand if there's 2 or 3 different people, you can't watch, say, 7 or 8 games. But say if it's one person who just follows Tottenham, that's it. All Tottenham games, he does the Tottenham games. Then you have one VAR man for each team in the league. And that's all they do. They just follow that team around in the Premier League. Would that work?
I think it would. I think it would make a lot of difference to. I think it would make a lot of difference to the inconsistencies if that was something that was to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. We've got Zach Spurs said, died hard Tottenham, stand firm. Of course we do, because we're the best in North London. We've got Mia said, there was contact. It was in endangerment. Surely it was, Mia. Look, I agree with you. Carl's saying 2 elbows, neither of them were VAR chucked. I know it's ridiculous. You can't endanger an opponent. Well, that, I don't get that, Mia. You're saying there was contact and it was endangerment. Now you're saying you can't endanger an opponent. Is that the VAR?
Yeah, what she means is that like the fact that he could have he's endangered the player by the way he's made the challenge. that's what she's saying, that
Yeah.
there's danger there. It's like
Yeah.
what you said earlier,
Mm.
like it's like
Dangerous foul play.
yeah, even
Yeah.
if there wasn't contact made,
Mm.
there was still the intent that it could have
Yeah.
been there. It could have
Yeah.
been there, the contact. So
And then we've got Zach Spar saying, out of many, one Tottenham. Yeah, we're the best in North London. Now, Jack, we're coming to the end of the stream. The last thing is the stats. Now, the stats make interesting reading. Possession, Tottenham had more possession. We had more shots on target with 13 each. We had more touches, more passes. We won more tackles. We made more clearances. We had less corners. We won on the offsides. And then 4 yellow cards to Tree. And then fouls conceded 19-12. If you're looking at the North London derby as a whole, Jack, this is one of the last questions. Then we've got one our Spurs back. But if you're looking at the whole North London derby as a whole with them stats, were Tottenham were the more dominant team, weren't they? Even with the stats and what we saw today.
I believe that we should have won the game, but I believe that we should have just edged it. I don't think we was like we would have blown them out off the park at 4-2, 5-2 or something like that. But I believe that we based upon what I saw today and the stats that you've shown, I think that we could have we could have edged it and won. We should have edged it and won the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do believe that because I believe towards the last 20 minutes, half hour, Arsenal just run out of ideas on what to do.
Yeah, well,
And
I
then
think so.
we took off our sort of main creative player, and we sort of was in the same position, but we did still have a couple of players on there that can create and do bits and pieces. Whereas Arsenal seem to just they brought on a £67 million signing, and the geezer done absolutely nothing. So the changes that Arteta make they're just rash decisions at the time. Whereas Ange is always he's much more experienced and clever. So
Yeah.
the decisions he makes on his substitutions has always got a reasoning behind it. Whereas
Yeah.
Arteta's inexperience, well, I know he's been there a few years now, but his inexperience is more a rash substitution. So I don't think that. I think we could have edged it and won the game. I believe that wouldn't have been an unfair result on Arsenal to say. It wouldn't have been unjustified to say that if we'd have won the game, it wouldn't have been like, oh, they didn't deserve the game or anything like that. We was head and shoulders above them for quite a lot of the game. And the main thing what we done well, Dermot, was we nullified everything that they do well, and that is which is a testament to Ange, because he set up in such a way that he made it so that they couldn't do what they want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And then Paul Pablo said, if you're going to scrutinise and should he took off Sonny, I think he should have done. I think Sonny was. I think it needed freshening up front. That's what he does. He does that. He does that in games. He did it with Sheffield United, and he did it today. It freshens the front three up. It gives them a different dynamic, a different sets of problems for the opposition defenders to cope with. The poll is now closed, Jack. Are Spurs in a fight for the league? 54% say no, 45% say yes, 24 votes. So very tight, very tight. Jack, do you want to give Mia's channel a big plug there? Spurs Between the Lines?
Yeah. Go over to Spurs Between the Lines. My sister Mia, she's got loads of different bits coming up, and she's doing some different variables and different bits and pieces. So yeah, get over there, subscribe, and push the notification bell so you know when she's coming on. And it's a great community over there, just as it is over here at THFC Till I Die. So yeah, if you can get yourself over there, be much appreciated.
Yeah, everyone, please get over to Spurs Between the Lines. And if you do, give your head a wobble and try to hit the subscription button while you're waddling your head. It is very, very tricky. But no, do it here as well. Thank you very much for your kind words, Jack, as well. Yeah, please, everyone, hit the like button, hit the subscription button. We're taking a few days off. My computer is going in for surgery. It's going to take a few days for it to be fixed, hopefully to stop the blue screen happening. It didn't happen during this stream, and it happened once today. So I'm looking to get it fixed. So hopefully this will sort the problem. So I know I'm not about. Mr. Brady, of course, has got COVID, so he won't be about. But we will be back. I will be back on Wednesday with Newsbeat at 4:00. So please join us for then. And then we're in the build-up then, of course, to the football at the weekend as we all go to Liverpool on Saturday. The watch-along will be here live here on Thfc till I die as Tottenham take on Liverpool at White Hart Lane. Jack, thank you so much for joining me tonight in this post-match show. Short notice, you really are a legend and a great, and we'll get you on the game very soon. Yeah, there will be no Premier League review this week because of my computer being fixed and Philip being unwell. So there'll be no Premier League review next week, but it will be back next Sunday at 7:00 as we go through the Premier League and the whole. So Jack will be back on next week and hopefully Mia on column as well. But to then, everyone take care of yourselves. Enjoy your rest of your Sunday, what's left. Enjoy tomorrow. If you see a gooner, you know what to say to him. Just go, ha ha, North London is white. But give him a hug as well and tell him everything's going to be okay. Arteta is going to take you further down the line. Whatever you do, come on. Oh, actually, we haven't done Fred. We haven't done Fred.
Yeah, you have to do Fred.
So I've got to do this first. Jack, I'm sorry. I've got to do this first. Sorry.
That's fine.
There you go. You got to play a bit of that Ange Postecoglou.
Oh, yeah.
And Fred is, if I can find Fred, where's Fred gone? I think Fred is gone. No, there's Fred. This is Arteta tonight as he come out of the Arsenal stadium with a load of Arsenal fans chasing him. Now, on that bombshell, we shall leave it there. We're back on Wednesday. We've got a few comments here before we go, Jack. He says, Sonny was on the hat-trick. Was it a good idea to take him up? I think so. I think it was a good idea. Give him his rest. He's done a captain's job. He says, take care. Good luck with the computer. Yeah. Hopefully now this will sort it out. But whatever you do, thank you to Mia. Thank you to Saxper. Thank you to Paul as well, Carl, Mick Harmlock, and everybody else is coming in. Also, thank you to you, Jack, for coming in. We reached 1,600 subs, so thank you so much for getting us there. We're now on the march to 2K. We're 400 off 2K, so let's get there before let's see now, we're in October. Let's see, can we get there before December? That's 3 months. Let's see, can we get there? Whatever you do, come on, you Spurs. Big Ange we trust. So please, everyone, hit that like button, subscription button, hit that notification bell. Then you know when we're on. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. In Ange we trust.